Iggy, why should Morgan Riley be in the All-Star game? Charlie, why should Morgan Riley be in the All-Star game? You want it? Here. Let's cut the illusion. Iggy, catch it if Mo's a man rocket. Oh, yeah!
Hi! Victory puppy! Plan the parade!
I have no idea what I'm doing.
Congratulations, this team is ruining my life! Victory puppies, boys! I'm gonna give you a treat, an extra good treat. High five for Michael Hutchison, boys. That's right. See how easy it is to win with a backup goalie? Huh? People don't forget, New Jersey! Scott Clemens, sucks to be you, Devils fans! Leafs win! 4-2. That was so unnecessary. 4-2 over the New Jersey Devils. Gee, what am I getting jacked up about? Giant killers the Leafs are. It was a bizarre game. Really, it was either 2.5 games or 3 games. I'm still not sure. Whatever, the Leafs won it. Let's talk about it. Actually, let's talk about it. Devils fans, if I were you. Okay, last year's New Jersey Devils showed up in the second period. Sans MVP. Where has this been? Oh, they got injury troubles, this, that. Not to go all Jim Lights about the situation, but wah, every team's got injuries. If you give a general damn, you still pick up a win every now and then. I can't remember exactly what I said in the last Devils if I were you, but what's going on? What is this team? I think I was talking about, like, is it the coach? Is it the GM? Well, both those guys just got extensions. Then we get to personnel, and there's obvious issues there. Corey Schneider. Mackenzie Blackwood comes in, actually looks good, gets hurt. But most highlights I watch of the Devils are just a compilation of Keith Kinkaid going, Sanctuary! Saw Blake Coleman like, yeah! When he made it 3-1, I'm like, calm down, you're still down 2. Boyle scores another like 5 seconds later, I'm like, Leafs let him back into the game a little bit, but it's like they just started believing in themselves. I thought the Leafs kicked the Devils up and down the ice all game, and the numbers show it. Check this out. From James Myrtle, this was actually the Leafs' best possession game of the season, and in the first period for sure, and in the third too, I would argue, it definitely felt that way. Even though I thought they looked a little bit better in the second, even when they were getting kicked in, the Devils were trying to get their odd man rushes, trying to get their jumps all game long, and they almost had the Leafs a few times, including very early on. At no point over the last 2 years have I looked at the Devils on paper and gone, wow. But this year's team and last year's team on paper aren't all that different. But with a hot start last season, I just feel like the Devils developed this identity as the world beaters of the East. Without those wins this season, they're just the Devils. So I guess my question to you Devils fans is, in absence of wins, how do they inject confidence back into the bloodstream of this team? They need it badly. It radiates off them. Keith Kinkaid is like, after every goal. These are usually supposed to end with, that's how I would feel if I were you, but that wouldn't be appropriate here. That is my observation if I were you. Now, Leafs fans, actually everybody, before I start talking about the game goal by goal, I have a question and it won't take long. So I am a YouTuber and I upload YouTube videos to my YouTube. And when I go into the back end, sometimes YouTube puts like a little, hey, here's a video you could watch to make your channel better, whatever. And today's was really interesting. Today's video was from Jessica Kelgren Fozard, who I'm currently butchering. I'm familiar with her channel. I've watched a few of her videos and really liked them, but she's a deaf YouTuber and sort of talks about issues relating to that, amongst other things, of course. But basically the video was all about closed captioning, and that's something I want on my channel. And right now all I have are the auto-generated ones from YouTube, and I asked on Twitter and you guys were sort of like, I gotta imagine with how fast I talk and how fast these videos are, it's a bit of an issue. It's a bit of an issue for you to keep up, and it's a bit of an issue for YouTube to get my words right. And there's also the issue of getting text translations in other languages, which is something I would love. French, Swedish, Finnish, Latvian, Russian, just to name a few. So, 1, please leave a comment if you are deaf or hearing impaired, or would just like better closed captioning on my videos. Leave a comment maybe to the best of your ability if you wish it was in another language as well. The main issue, and I'll end it here, I know I can put the text in myself. At over 100 videos a season, about 10 to 15 minutes each on top of all the other stuff I do, that would be very difficult. I know the community is able to submit their own closed captions, so I want to know if you have any experience with that, and if you have any interest in translating them into a different language, let me know, we can talk. That's all. Thank you very much for enduring my question. This is all I got, can you tell? Let's talk about the game! First period, only a few minutes in, and holy smokes, can you tell Zach Hyman's back? Back on Zach's suit. Zach! Crashing the net like a good Zach does. And he's in front mucking it up, and Connor Brown's in front mucking it up, and he throws it to the point to Ron Hainsey. This is 4-on-4, by the way. Hainsey with a blast off the post and in? Ronald! Dude, is that not the Devil season in a nutshell? It's 4-on-4 against the Leafs. The Devils are up against a foursome of Hyman, Brown, Zaitsev, and Hainsey, which, all due respect to those players, they're good at what they do, but I don't think I'd be putting them out at 4-on-4. Maybe 1 or 2 at a time, not all at the same time anyway. And then Hyman and Brown are clogging up the crease
Leafs like it's 6-on-5 with no time left. Keith Kinkaid can't see anything, and then he's beaten by an excellent Ron Hainsey shot. Also, Devil season in a nutshell. Last season, Miles Wood had 19 goals. With this goal, Ron Hainsey ties him with 4. This goal also puts Ron Hainsey 1 point back of Sami Vatanen. All because you chose to rest Brodeur. I'm still on that. And by the way, the assists on that goal, Connor Brown with his 13th, and Zach Hyman with his 9th. Welcome back, Zach. Nice to see 2/3 of the Hungry Hippos line connect a little under 3 minutes later. The Leafs' second goal was a great example of why the Hyman, Tavares, Marner line just works, and why Hyman probably doesn't have as many points as he should. Hyman digging the puck along the half boards, and he's got 2 Devils on him. From the camera angle, you can't see if it's Hyman who flicks it to the point or if it's Tavares, but either way, the puck goes to the point, and Tavares makes a mad dash to the net, where Marner already is, being the pesky Mountain Dew good boy that he is. I'm gonna get a Leafs jersey with the number 16 and just Mountain Dew across the nameplate, or just number 16 and jar. Anyway, when the puck was flicked to the point, it was given to Jake Gardiner, who we're all mad at after the game, and I'm gonna remind you that he did this good thing. This is Jake Goodener. We'll get to Badiner later. He floats it on, and shucks, the puck doesn't go in right away, but you know what? It ended up on John Tavares' stick, and I think that's a good thing. One sec. Yep, good thing. Patience, goal! Tavares is 28th of the season, all 28 for the Toronto Maple Leafs, because John Tavares is a Toronto Maple Leafs. Tavares, I'm going to admit, I'm just bouncing back and forth. And the Leafs go up 2-0, and to my point, Gardiner gets an assist, and that's it. The only dude. Which is fine. Assists are handed out the way they're handed out, but that goal doesn't happen without Zach Hyman. Listen, I used to and still do hate when people are like, watch the games. But Zach Hyman's definitely a guy where I'm like, you should watch the games a little bit, because he's pretty good. Thank you. You're welcome, I think. No, you can keep the puck. We go on to the second period. Oh, we're not done? Kapanen almost had a breakaway, but Keith Kinkaid ran out to play defense. Poor Keith Kinkaid. Just help me! And he almost made it to intermission with just a 2-goal deficit, but alas. Dying seconds, Leafs with all kinds of pressure. Marner has it on his stick, but oh, Mitchell, you're facing the wrong way. Oh, Mitchell knows. I never know what Marner's gonna do. It's so fun. Backhand cross zone pass to Riley, who naturally is wide open and in scoring position because Mitchell is a robot. He's gonna shoot. He has to shoot. He's gotta shoot. Any all-star would shoot. Nope. Pass. Tap, goal, Tavares, one pronunciation for each goal, and the assist goes to the man rocket all-star Morgan Riley, and it's 3-0 Leafs after 1. If you want to know where man rocket comes from, by the way, last night the Leafs, because they're a team run by silly children, posted a bunch of videos from their hotel trying to get Morgan Riley into the All-Star game. Here's one with Mitch Marner and Jake Gardiner talking into shoe microphones. Weird flex, but okay. You know, they're just like, let's use our baller shoes. In the video, Mitch Marner refers to Morgan Riley as a straight-up man rocket, and then Brendan Shanahan, who will be 50 years old in less than 2 weeks and is the president of the Toronto Maple Leafs, treated man rockets but in emojis. Listen, rest of the league, hear me out. The Leafs should win the cup. Oh, I know, we're gonna be insufferable if it happens. You should just delete Twitter off your phone straight up. But aren't you a little curious to see what they do with the cup? Like, the Capitals were fun when they won it last year, but like, those are adults. I just want to see what this ridiculous team of infants does with it, okay? Jumping up and down on the bed, eating sugary cereal out of it, and staying up super late on a school night. Me crying tears of pure, true happiness. Second period. Evaporated that in a hurry. Things didn't go wrong for them right away, but after the first few minutes, I'm like, they look like they care less. And it started to wear on the team. How ridiculous is it in the game where the Leafs put up their best possession numbers of the entire season, they got outshot by New Jersey in the second period, 18-13. Granted, the Devils actually played like an NHL team in the second, but that's not good enough from the Leafs. You can yell and scream about defense all you want, but if you're giving up 18 shots in a period, you got a lot more problems than just your 6 guys on D. Not to mention, Travis Dermott got his eggs scrambled. You see that? Brett Seney with that ridiculous hit from behind, only 2 minutes? Luckily, Travis Dermott is the goodest boy ever and tweeted this. Wait, no, sorry, he didn't tweet this. Chris Johnson tweeted that he said it. Travis Dermott went through concussion protocol after being driven into the stanchion by Brett Seney. He passed the baseline test and had no ill will afterwards about the hit. Too pure for this earth, Travis. But as the Devils outplay the Leafs, it finally wears on. Andy Green puts it on from the point. That does not go in, but Blake Coleman scores on the rebound. The Devils have life. And this is something I'm trying to put a little bit more focus on because it's easy to look at this still of Ron Hainsey and Morgan Riley, the Leafs' top pair, by the way, with 2 Devils behind them going, shame on you. But about a second earlier, there was this shot of Green receiving a pass cleanly at the point with nobody in his face at all. The Leafs need more defense, totally, but that's an example of it being a team concept. But it's alright, the Leafs answer right back on the next play. Gardiner gets it and put, Jake! Blake Pietila breaks down, that's not even a person! Whoever that rumor is gives it to Brian, but Brian Boyle, he scores on Michael Hutchinson? You ever get mad at someone who you can't be mad at and it makes you more mad? Why would you do that, Brian? I'm so hurt I've forgotten who I'm upset with. Oh, that's right. Oi! I didn't think I had to use this anymore, but here we are. You listen to me, Jakery. I hit myself in the eye with the tail, it hurt. Jakery, whatever you call yourself, Jacob, was a good example of something. Yeah, Jake Gardner being crap? No. It's funny, I saw some people in my mentions talking about Jake Gardner and what's he got to do to be consistent. Consistent? This is arguably the most consistent he's been in the NHL, I would argue. Because, dude, he totally deserves a fish beating for that one, I'll give you that. It's a bad play, it's a terrible play, unexcusable play. But his fish beatings have been fewer this season. He hasn't deserved as many. He hasn't brought them upon himself. And let's also not forget, he got his 22nd assist of the season earlier this game to go with 2 goals, which is low for him, but he's got 2 goals, 22 assists for 24 points in 43 games. Man, that's a 45-point season he's on pace for, and we've been talking about how he slowed down offensively. Well, his job's not to score points, it's to play defense. Why not both? But dude, keep this in mind, because I hear this all the time. I've probably said this a bunch of times. Well, you know what? I'll take a sacrifice on his offense to get someone who's better defensively. All right, but for the same price, how many of those guys are out there and available? So Jake Gardner's on pace to score 45 points. Let's say there's a guy available who can only score 30. So that player will be in on 15 fewer goals than Gardner. And they'll have to prevent 15 goals that Gardner would have allowed just in order to break even. I just feel like, contrary to prior seasons, we don't need to have an existential conversation about Jake Gardner. Look, if a player does something bad in a game, criticize him. Criticize him. Like Jake Gardner on this one. He deserves criticism. But I think you save those existential conversations for guys who are garbage every game. This was a bad play. Bad Jake. Don't do it again. Let's leave it at that. And how about we leave it at 3-2? The hell happened to you, Leafs? The Devils look like crap in the first period. And you let Pietila get an assist. He's not even real. Better have a better effort in the third. And they did. And it was sad. Dude, I would love to work in the Devils arena and work in maintenance. And they're probably still in there right now because they got to put the paint on the walls. The Babcock probably stripped off it at intermission, because in the third period, in a game the Devils were losing, in a game where the Devils were at home, they were outshot 15-3. When Babcock talked about the Nashville game, he said there were times where it was men versus boys out there. Dude, getting outshot 15-3 on home ice in a game you're losing is men versus boys. That's sad, man. But amazingly, the Leafs couldn't get a bloody goal out of it, and I'm losing my mind. Please be Clutchinson. And luckily, he was. And with less than 30 seconds left, Mitch Marner breaks out with Zach Hyman with him. And Marner does such a Marner thing. You can tell he's like, okay, I'm on my backhand. Do I fling it at the net and maybe miss? Plenty of time left at the puck goes in the corner, New Jersey could turn it the other way and at least get one more chance. Or do I pass it to Zach, but it might get intercepted? And from nearly center ice, Mitch Marner places basically the perfect puck. He throws on this soft backhand sort of shot, sort of pass. It was just placed perfectly and at the perfect speed to be a pass, but if Zach missed it, it could be a goal as well. Leave it to Mitch Marner to score one of the prettiest empty net goals I've ever seen. And Zach Hyman, dude, why do you hate points? Could have stole that away from Mitch and just tapped it at dude. Mitch likes assists, give it to him. Now I let him have it, and the only assist goes to Tavares. There's another one where Hyman didn't get a point, but the Leafs got 2, and they win 4-2. Little bit, you know, but they won. Questions? In you are? Thank you for checking. It's been a while. Yes, I'm in. Is Hutch our Tim Thomas? Well, it depends. Has he called Mike Babcock a communist? Dude, I think Hutch, who doesn't have great numbers over the past few seasons, especially at the NHL level, he was good in the AHL last year. Stop me if you've heard that before. But I think he's extra motivated and playing extremely well because he's always wanted to be a Toronto Maple Leaf. Stop me if you've heard that before. He's what the Leafs need right now. And that's perfect enough, isn't it? And by the way, a little bit of misconception here. Michael Hutchinson actually can be sent down to the Marlies once Anderson gets healthy. Actually, I should say once Sparks gets healthy, because Anderson, it sounds like, is going to play Friday. I would imagine Kaskisuo would go down first, and then when Sparks comes back, you're able to send Hutch down, whereas you're not able to send Sparks down without losing him. Dude, he's doing his job, and it's great, and I can get down with that. This isn't a question, but please tell Daddy Marlowe I love him. Okay, he's old, and I don't know if he knows how the internet works, but someone show him this. Patrick Marlowe, I love you. I like this. Has Kasperi Kapanen hit a wall? And is that really that bad? Cap implications wise. And then someone said $1 in the Kapanen jar. Kapanen's another guy where the goals aren't going in as easy, but dude, he's playing fine. One of my favorite things is watching teams who aren't familiar with Kapanen yet discover how, oh my god, fast he is. I'm sort of excited to see how he does on the Western Canadian trip. I feel like teams know by now. They have TV. And with regards to the Kapanen jar, the Marner jar, where we raise money for Sick Kids Hospital every time time we complain about the impending Mitch Marner contract, which I did recently. I was a bad boy on the podcast. So I donated another $16 to the Marner jar. Please consider a donation yourself. All proceeds go to Sick Kids Hospital. Over 5 Gs. You guys are unreal. So that is it for this one. Thank you very much for watching. Click like if you like this video. Click subscribe if you really liked it. Tell all your friends. Brand new Panago Pizza Steve Dangle podcast tomorrow. And I will see you Bruins Saturday. That's gonna be stressful.